And WOCA Ocala, the source 96.3. We're back here with you, 10:35, 25 minutes to the top of the hour. And in the studio here, we got some guests. College of Central Florida. We've got for higher education happenings, we've got Mark Meadows and Josh Striggle. Did I say that right? Striggle? Josh yes. Striggle. Mm-hmm. Struggle to say the name Striggle.
Yeah, Striggle.
Yeah. Yep. And today, tell us a little bit about what we'll be talking about, what you guys want to give for your time here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so at College of Central Florida, we've been working, really putting a lot of emphasis for the last 17, 18 years on our online course offerings and just exploring different ways that we can provide some flexibility to our students and let them choose to get their degree in a way that's a little bit more convenient for them and lets them, give up less in their personal lives to be able to pursue their educational goals.
Gotcha.
And what kind of criteria do you require when the students come in from high school to the college for e-learning?
The e-learning, one of the nice things about it at CF, it really functions as far as the requirements just like any other course at CF. So it's the same entrance requirements. They come in with their high school diploma, apply, and then it's really up to them how they pursue their education.
Can they do dual enrollment?
Absolutely. We have a lot of dual enrollment students in our online programs.
And Mark, how does that fit into all of the curriculum after the person goes through the college and then graduates with their degree? Does it speed up the process for e-learning?
Well, it's a process of, schools are basically geared towards the adult learner now. And when the students come to Josh, they have the availability of doing it on ground or online. In some cases, there's a mixed media where it's actually in the classroom but broadcasting to another class. But for the online learner, it affords them the availability to get the coursework that they need. The requirements that Josh has with the College of Central Florida is the same with Webster University. As far as having the knowledge, let me say that if they've come from CF, they've been well trained. Mm-hmm. So there's absolutely nothing that we have to do to migrate them to our system. It just continues on with their studies from an undergraduate to a graduate degree.
And what kind of jobs are available then when you do e-learning? Are they hands-on like a mechanic, or are they in the academic field like a teacher or a doctor?
The professional degrees that we have are like the MBA, Human Resources Development, Human Resources Management. We have criminal justice now. A good portion of our school is in the counseling field, but there's no delineation whether the person, if they're sitting in a classroom or like Josh is over the online portion of the studies, there's no difference. I mean, you have the same quality of education that you would in the classroom is the experience that you would have online. So the end result is that student has the credits, that student has the fortitude, the skills, the education to continue on with their studies.
Yeah, at CF, we definitely focus our fully online degrees and certificates in certain fields. Mm-hmm. The Associate of Arts degree, which is geared towards preparing students to transfer to a baccalaureate program, is one of our big ones, but we also do Bachelor of Science in Nursing, we do some education, a lot of different associate's degrees in the business area and certificates we do fully online, and then students just supplement their traditional coursework with online courses so they can spend more time at work or home with their families or whatever they're needing to focus on in life.
And students are familiar with that now. In high school, I know of a woman who, she has a family, young children, stays home with them, but then she also is a teacher and she teaches her students online.
Yes, there's a lot of different things in K-12. The Florida Virtual School and some of the districts have programs, and it really does prepare them to come and take online classes at the higher education level.
Josh is a pilot with Ocala Aviation. and he has to.
Adam is.
I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry. Adam is a pilot, and he has to take his students up in the air to learn how to fly and everything. Can Adam benefit from a program such as yours for his students?
Well, you're asking if he could benefit in delivering online education to his students. If there's work that they need to do in preparation for that hands-on experience, absolutely. They could learn their theory, they could learn the FAA regulations. He could deliver a lot of the content online, and it could also give the students an opportunity to interact with each other, where he's not going to take a dozen people probably up in the cockpit at the same time, but they could be interacting online and getting to know each other and bouncing ideas and experiences off of each other.
Adam, a good portion of your training is done at console, right? At DUS. Isn't there some kind of sim that's a...
That's what a lot of people think.
Right.
A lot of people anticipate that there's a lot of simulator style.
No, I mean
aviation up
book
front,
work,
but
basically. Before theory, theory to practice, basically.
Theory to practice.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. A lot of programs are different. The way we do a lot of ours, being in the mom and pop flight school business, we do a lot of one-on-one, where we're trying to do a lot more of it applied. So if you're learning anything ground school, it's immediate to the next hour, 2 hours of the flight that you're going to do and stuff. But there is a lot of, I guess there's a lot of courses that do offer like everything up front as a preface ground school that has a certain amount of hours that leads into all that book work that then is carried over.
I have 12 hours from 30 years ago, and I can't find a book to, so
Gotcha.
there you go.
Yeah.
From the beginning again.
Yeah. You were working on the private yourself?
I've always wanted to do rotor. I've been up in a Robson 22, is that what it is? Yeah.
Robbie
Super
22.
fun.
Yeah.
Super
That's
fun.
pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of funny because nowadays a lot of what you hear about with, from when I was in high school, it was kind of a turning leaf moment with everybody trying to get into the idea that you needed to go to college because you needed to do something specific with the degree, and now it seems like because of that they've waned on some of the trade skill stuff. But at the same time, it's still beneficial to know to get what you need. But in the aviation idea, it's like there are a lot of programs that are online that tie in. We usually ourselves at our flight school, Ocala Aviation, we use a Liberty program that's online that coerces an idea to not only be able to finance the money for the program, but be able to do the lab work at a satellite flight school and all that kind of stuff, which is interesting and good because, like you said, when people got lives and trying not to live on a campus.
Right, that's what I was going to say. That argument doesn't hold water because I hate to say back in the day, but back in the day, there was only one channel. You had to be in the classroom.
Yeah.
Your life stopped.
Yeah.
If you were dual income, you're now single income.
Right, right. And with that in mind, too, it was like if you were at school, you were at school.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you worked, it was very minimal part-time.
Right. What are you going to do with your kids?
Right.
How are you going to take the dip in finances?
Yeah, business professionals are familiar with the term opportunity cost, and basically it's that for each decision you make, you give up something else in your life. And those were the types of things you used to have to give up to go to college. If you had been out of high school for 5 or 6 years and had a career that you wanted to pursue, but you needed that next degree, you had to hit pause and step away from that.
Correct.
So that's one of the things with online learning, and we do things with hybrid where you spend some of the time in the classroom, some of the time online. We really free up people not to have to make those huge sacrifices in their life. It's work to learn online. You spend a lot of time learning, and you do give up your free time, but you don't have to pause that career or pause raising your kids or spending time with your family in order to do it.
Which, gives everybody an opportunity. So if there's ever been an excuse to say, I don't have the time, there's ways to make that time, and that's what you guys are doing. Yeah.
Part of your title, Josh, Director of E-Learning and Learning Support. Can you give a definition of each of the title?
Yeah, basically in simplified terms is I work with all of the support for the online classes, training the faculty, supporting the students with technical issues, doing all of those types of things, vetting some of the technology, and then in learning support is just I coordinate all of the tutoring both on campus and online.
And is this good for someone with special needs? The e-learning?
Yeah, we have special needs students that take e-learning specifically because of whatever their situation is. They might have a mobility issue, so learning at home is much better for them. They might have some sort of communication issue that makes communicating with electronically much easier for them. Any number of things. We have students with temporary health issues that choose the modality just so that they can be closer to home or closer to their medical care and still pursue their education.
Really opens up the opportunity.
Yeah. And how about testing? Do the students have to physically come in for the testing, or can they do that online also?
That really depends on the needs of the class. That we do a number of different things. We have testing centers at all of our physical locations, and for some online classes, they'll give the students, say, a week's window to stop in at their convenience and take that assessment. And some we use what's known as remote proctoring, where there'll be someone, you have a webcam, you'll have someone on the other end proctoring the test. But really what we try to do is use what's known in our world as authentic assessment. It's more of a writing type of assessment and things like that, where students can assess the knowledge without it being just a multiple choice assessment that really would need more of a proctoring type of situation.
Do some of the parents resist this type of learning, that they have in their mind it should also always be physical in the classroom?
I haven't seen that in a number of years. We did, in my early career, we had to do a lot of explaining about the merits of online learning and how it was equivalent, but now the parents as much as the students really have embraced it. And keep in mind, we have a lot of traditional age students at College of Central Florida, but we also have a lot of non-traditional students to where the parents are the ones seeking the online education.
And is this good for homeschoolers?
It is.
I mean, is that like classified as a homeschool program also?
Well, it isn't classified as a homeschool program. They, as an aside, I was homeschooled the majority of my K-12 experience.
Nice.
So, you have that, you graduate with what the state of Florida considers a traditional high school diploma, and then you come into CF through the regular pipelines, and we have homeschool students that take our online classes as dual enrollment students, and they have a lot of the soft skills required to succeed in e-learning, because they're used to studying on their own and seeking answers and those types of things without that day-to-day direction of a faculty member. And those are the types of skills that online learners need.
Yeah.
And do you have some kind of extracurricular tutoring program for some of the students who might feel they're getting a little behind?
Well, we have that for all of our students. So the majority of our online students also take some classes on campus, and then they'll come in to our tutoring centers. But we also do some online tutoring that's available. As most of the Florida higher ed institutions, we contract with a third-party entity for that so that it can be offered 24/7, and they can get online and work with a live credentialed tutor. Their tutor could be 1,000 miles away, but they can work with them and get the answers they need 24/7 on most subjects.
Yeah, gotcha. We're gonna take a quick little break there, Robin, and then we'll pop on back. Appreciate it.
From the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Was dedicated.
Yeah,
And we're back 96.3 WOCA Ocala. Higher education happenings in the studio here. We have Mark Meadows, director of the Webster University, and Josh Strigel, director of e-learning and learning support, talking here with Robin and myself about everything online. Everything online nowadays, the internet, wonderful stuff. I'm not a college graduate myself. If anybody was wondering a little bit more of myself as I come in to be your host come next week, I actually chose aviation in lieu of what I could do for a job or career with not necessarily needing a degree right away. And it's funny because as I've continued this journey in this industry of aviation and now plugging away at something as a side note like this, I'm starting to find a little direction on what I'd like to eventually see myself doing a degree in and everything like that. And like we're talking here was to the encouragement that everything now being more readily available, having the online courses as Josh was telling us and everything like it. So a lot of good stuff.
Are the textbooks written differently now because of the e-learning?
I'd say the focus on the content and a lot of the ways that
It's delivered,
academically the content is prepared and written, pretty much the same, but the way it's delivered is very different. Publishers now are providing some textbooks entirely in an e-format, no matter whether they're going to be delivered in the classroom or online. They know that an expectation that the colleges are going to have is that they have a lot of supplemental materials for the students that are electronic, a lot of reinforcement. And then there's something new that's coming along in the last few years called the Open Educational Resource, where college faculty are writing materials and some full textbooks and just putting them out there with a usage agreement but no true copyright, so that they're there to be used primarily in the online environment and provide a good peer-reviewed materials for online learners that aren't tied directly to publishers. So, and we use some of those, almost every higher ed institution uses some of those, and they're great for the online learners.
How does this affect the students that are majoring in music to become music teachers?
We don't do a lot in that area online. We know that there's that big live hands-on component that they're going to need. We can do some of the music appreciation and some things like
some of
that
the music
online,
theory.
classes online.
That's important.
But we recognize that not everything is readily adaptable to online learning right now. As technologies in advance and change, it opens up to more and more. The days, 20 years ago, the thought of putting a science lab online just sounded absurd. And now it's a common practice throughout.
They don't
the
even buy
state.
frogs anymore. It's all online.
Really?
For dissection, yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. Well, that saves the frog population.
It sure does. College of Central Florida has an amazing music program. Their auditorium is second to none, and each one of their music rooms is well staffed, and the amount of music equipment they have available to the student or the continuing student is just amazing. It's super humanities program for them.
Now, how have the professors that have been at CF and Webster for a really long time children that are, say, over the age of 45? How have they adapted to the e-learning
I don't know about
programs?
the over 45 thing, because I'm young, but I'm actually a finance teacher for College of Central Florida. I teach Finance 2100. Again, it is so helpful to the faculty, to the instructor. It's almost transparent. I mean, you still have the old school things like, you have your syllabi, you have to have your book, you have to hit a certain amount of criteria by a certain date. The only thing that's changed is that syllabi is now online. That book is now online.
Oh my.
Yeah, so it's all available to them. The two of the biggest publishers, Cengage and McGraw-Hill, I believe are going to merge some towards the end of the year, and they're trying to get away from the competing, like what Josh was saying, that you go with this one publisher or the other publisher, and now there's just going to be one big ball of wax and one whole thought, I guess, coming from them. But everything that I've done on the Canvas system with College of Central Florida and Josh's team has been, that's all I can say, is transparent. I mean, it's just no hitches, everything goes off great, students are lined up, and it's good to go.
Yeah, and it's, as far as adoption with faculty that come from different schools of thought and different generations, it's kind of a bell curve in a process, just like with anything else.
Right. Earlier you were saying adults resisting being combative. Well, the internet's only been around for what, 22 years or something like that? So there's an egress to people getting more knowledgeable about internet and being more comfortable. And that's the way that most of the major colleges and universities are going towards.
Are students more focused now and less intimidated by their peers to be actually just doing the e-learning on their own in their own environment?
We've had some interesting observations in that area. We find that some of the really traditional outgoing students that would be the first to raise their hands and contribute in class really do like to stay in that format, and they won't put their thoughts in writing and put it out there online. And some of the students that would be very introverted and never contribute in a classroom, they're the first ones to really contribute in an online class and put their ideas out there for their peers.
And that must really impress you as an instructor, because then they're able to be more communicative.
Right, true. In the classroom, you're always going to have the people that sit in the back and, and are less likely to participate. And it could
And
be
hope they're not called on.
Well, it could be for several reasons, but online, everybody has the same amount of push, I like to call it. You can see it in the analytics online. That's another thing that you see is their participation. And everybody's equal, and like you said, there's a bell curve to it. But honestly, I think it provides an excellent opportunity to anybody that doesn't want to be in a traditional classroom, that maybe is a little hesitant to raise their hand.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity the last few years to teach a section of our first year college experience course, and I teach it online, and it is fascinating. One of the first assignments is, why are you taking this class in this format, and what are you hoping to achieve by going to college? And it really is fascinating to see the different reasons and to see the improvements that the students are hoping to make in their lives, because that's really what we're doing this for, is to enable the students to be able to, for some of them, they've been pursuing something that didn't work, or 2 or 3 things that didn't work in their lives, and now they get a chance to try something different and learn a new skill, get some education, and really do improve themselves.
And will they have the initiative to finish quicker than 4 years, because this is more exciting to them and can build around the work schedule?
That's one of our hopes, is that they can finish a lot more quickly. It's, as a college as a whole, we've really been improving our outcomes in that area over the last couple of years, and we hope with the online that will continue.
That's excellent.
Excellent, guys. Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming in, and it's nice to meet you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys again and having this go a little smoother on my behalf, as I've been telling everybody I'm thrown to the wolves with this here and everything. But it's a pleasure to have you guys. Website? You guys want to plug it?
Yeah, www.cf.edu, and there's a link to our distance learning offerings right from the homepage.
There you go. There you go. We appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good rest of the week and enjoy the weekend, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, WOCA Ocala coming up to the top of the hour.
Fox News. I'm Lillian Wu. The
Well,
president's
yeah.
impeachment trial enters a new phase.
Anything but solemn and bipartisan.
Really appreciate your
Counselor to the
input.
president, Kellyanne Conway, a day after articles of impeachment are signed by the House Speaker. Today, senators set to be sworn in.
At noon, House